Hello, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to talk about the inciting incident. During the inciting incident, something unusual happens to the hero's ordinary world. It is irrevocably transformed in some way. Further, the way in which the hero's world is transformed is guaranteed to collide with and shatter the hero's status quo. For example, in Star Wars: A New Hope, there are two events which will break the hero's status quo. First, Darth Vadar boards Princess Leia's diplomatic craft and takes her captive, a serious breach of the law. Second, Luke finds the holograph Princess Lea hid in R2-D2. Both these events set Luke on course to go to meet Old Ben, or Obi-Wan Kenobi, and while there, he gets the call to adventure. Arguably, the inciting incident is the most important part of the story, because this is where it starts. In my last video, I talked about a rule which the hero either has to rebel against and break, for instance in The Matrix, or which provides the hero with hope that their deepest dreams could come true, Pinocchio. The inciting incident is something that changes the story world in such a way that the hero will have to make a choice. For example, in The Matrix, a bug is implanted in Neo, a literal bug. That's a pretty big change in his world. Then, later, Neo is offered a choice. Trust us and let us take the bug out, or go back to your old life. Note that while there is always an inciting incident, there may be more than one. For instance, Trinity meeting Neo at the nightclub could be seen as one inciting incident. But so is Neo arriving to work late and being scolded by his boss. The important thing about an inciting incident is that it changes the hero's world in such a way that it will force him to make an irreversible choice that will inevitably change the direction of his life. An anomaly. Here's one way of thinking about the inciting incident. It is an anomaly. Each of us has what could be thought of as a cognitive map of our world. You might wonder, why do we need a map? Good question. The world is a very complex place. If we had to pay equal attention to everything around us constantly, well, we would go mad. We would be overwhelmed with information. After a few days of this, we would be a nervous wreck. Generally, we are moving through environments we're familiar with, the grocery store, our home, driving a familiar road to work, and so on. But occasionally, we are plunked into a truly alien space. Perhaps you're camping with friends. You're in the forest gathering twigs to help start a fire. The sun sets and darkness gathers around you, transforming the world into an alien landscape. Suddenly, you are completely alert, no caffeine needed. You hear every sound, every twig snap, every rustle of the leaves. And you feel sure that, right now, anything at all could happen. When that happens to me, it's kind of magical, but at the same time, very scary. I think of it as being spooked. But there's another way of thinking about it. I could say that my cognitive map suddenly became inadequate. To put it in mythic terms, when a character, the hero, runs across an anomaly, when the world suddenly stops making sense, we say they've met a dragon. I love the symbolism here. What did maps used to say lay in uncharted territory? Dragons. A dragon is, at the very least, a problem. After all, when we don't know where we are, that's a problem. When we don't know where we are, we don't know what to do. We're lost, disoriented, confused, perhaps even panicked. Actually, it's a lot like falling in love, isn't it? Putting this in terms of our cognitive map analogy, when the hero comes across an anomaly, a gaping hole is torn in the hero's low-resolution map of the world. Treasure. So far, everything I've said about anomalies or dragons makes them sound like a bad thing. But dragons usually guard a treasure. If Darth Vadar had not boarded Princess Leia's diplomatic craft, then Luke wouldn't have blown up the Death Star, and the Resistance would have been obliterated by the Empire. If Neo hadn't suffered through the terror of having a literal bug sucked out of him, he wouldn't have become the one and eventually saved the world. In this sense, a dragon, an anomaly, is both terrifying and tantalizing. There is not only extreme danger, but also the possibility of great reward. In Star Wars, Luke doesn't know what the ultimate treasure will be, him destroying the Death Star, but he understands that it is offering the adventure he thirsts for. By the way, the hero doesn't have to be present during the inciting incident. The important thing about the inciting incident is that it will tear a gaping hole in the hero's map of the world, but this doesn't have to happen right away. For example, in Shrek, the inciting incident was the writ issued by Lord Farquaad to have all the fairy tale animals moved into Shrek's swamp. Since Shrek loves his solitude, this irked him, and he decided to go visit the good Lord and petition him to put the fairy tale creatures back where they came from. In this movie, the inciting incident occurred when Lord Farquaad issued the writ, and, of course, Shrek wasn't present for that, or he would have voiced his opinion right then. But perhaps you disagree. If so, terrific. I would love to hear what you think about this. please leave a comment. I won't be releasing any videos this weekend, but I'll pick this series up again on Monday. Then I'll go over the next major part of story, the call to adventure. Thanks for listening. If you've enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. Have a good weekend. I'll talk to you again on Monday. Good writing.